Holton Ahlers joining us. Holton, how you doing, bud?
Doing good. Had a good summer so far, so just dwindling down right here before camp. So
busy summer?
Yeah, very.
Your
very
summer has been the busiest of any year I've seen for you, and not just here in Greenville. Your summer, like away from here, and your growth and development for folks that haven't been paying attention. Let's start with the Manning camp, of what that was about, how you got to be a part of it, and what you learned from it.
Yeah, so it was just an invite-only thing that the Mannings would reach out to college guys that, that are in their draft-eligible year the next year, and I kind of got word that they were thinking about inviting me, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. My phone rang from New Orleans, and I answered it. It was Archie Manning. He was
Wow.
Holton. We'd like to invite you. So it's a pretty cool moment for me because my brother's named after Peyton Manning, and so my family's really looked up to them, but anyone's looked up to the Mannings that watches football. So, they're a football family. So it was super cool. It was an experience that I'll remember forever.
So you go up there, and what happens?
So there's a kid camp involved too. So we're like the counselors of that. So we'd literally be busy from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. So we would wake up, go to breakfast, then go right into the kids camp, eat lunch, watch film while we're eating lunch with the Mannings. Then we would go into our workout. Then we'd go eat dinner, watch film again with them, and then go into our second workout of it. And then at nighttime, they would sell tickets to watch the college quarterbacks throw. So it'd be a full stadium out there watching our workouts. So it was really cool.
So you had one, it's like a NIL deal, so you get paid to be there, I assume. Yeah. So you get financial benefit, but then you get the benefit of learning from the Mannings.
Yeah, and just being around the other college quarterbacks too, and kind of sizing up with that. But yeah, learning from those guys was, I learned probably more in that week than I have in my entire career of just like the small details and stuff, and just watching film and what to look for and how in depth they were into it and just drills and such. So it was definitely beneficial for me.
We talked off the air, and it's an incredible opportunity, and you're still the same guy, but I think the perception of who you are and what you're capable of and your upside has increased just by those guys giving you an endorsement almost by inviting you into that camp, where all of a sudden now people are noticing you, and I'm talking on a national level now, regional and national level, that maybe you weren't on the radar screen before.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely amped that up, but I've always been the one to just let my play speak for itself. I'm never going to sit here and pound my chest or anything like that, but I did feel like I did pretty well at the camp compared to the other guys there, and I don't think there's that much of a talent gap other than just the hype around the schools and the names, but other than that, there's really not much of a talent gap there, and that kind of, I always believed that, but that just kind of proved me to be true. So I'm just going to continue to work hard and see where this next year takes me.
Great connection and relationship with the Mannings you've developed, and now another great connection and relationship with one of Tom Brady's guys, and you could say perhaps the greatest quarterback in NFL history. I guess many folks would say now. You were working with one of Tom Brady's coaches. And folks probably don't know this.
Yeah, so he's a biomechanics, health, nutrition, and mental coach. Just via Zoom call right now. He's in California. His name's Tom House. He works with pretty much any. He says he's a throw-in coach, but he's really kind of everything. His three or four things are biomechanics, nutrition, sleep. There's one more I can't even think of it right now. I've had 2 meetings with him so far, but just getting involved with him. He's worked with Brady, Breeze, the Mannings. Spoke about him there. So he's a guy that works with them. And he works with Clayton Kershaw, and any elite thrower at a professional level he's touched in some point.
And he reached out to you.
Yeah.
To be a part of this.
Yeah, so literally right after the Manning Passing Academy, I heard from him, and we kind of have gotten into talks then, and the Zoom calls have started, and we'll continue kind of throughout the season, throughout my career.
And then
Brady has a very specific diet. So is your diet going to change with you being a part of this?
Yeah, for sure. So actually,
I did see him at Tiebreakers at lunch today, but
I don't think that's on the plan.
No, it's grilled chicken and salad. Yeah. That's all right.
No. Tom Brady has TB12. Are you going to have HA12?
We'll see. But they do have a huge nutrition side of it, and the first meeting I had with him, so I'm good friends with UNC Charlotte's quarterback, and he got connected with them through their head coach, and he swears by him. And then when we went to the Manning Passing Academy, we had like a player panel where we could ask Peyton and Eli kind of what helped them in their longevity of their career, and the first thing they both said was him. So I was like, well, I've heard of this guy, and then he reached out to me a couple days later, so it was pretty cool. But when I was talking to him, he was like, most quarterbacks in college have reached about 35 to 40% of their potential without like even knowing it. And I'm sitting here thinking I have just a little bit to go, but really, there's a lot to improve on, and he's going to help me with it.
That's impressive. Getting back to the Manning camp with Peyton and Eli, both seem like they're pretty good regular dudes in many ways. Like they seem like they'd be fun guys to hang out with. Did you get to interact with them socially at all? Get to know them as people?
Yeah,
bit, separate from football players.
Yeah, we were literally with them like the whole time. So I would be sitting there at dinner, and it would be Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Archie Manning, Bryce Young, Stetson Bennett, like anyone who you could think of would just be sitting there at dinner with us. Then after we would have socials that we would go to, they would be there. So by the end of it, we all knew each other by name basis. We were in a huge group chat with each other now with all the quarterbacks and the Mannings. So it's just something that is a lot to learn from, but it was also just a cool experience.
Is Devin Leary there?
Yeah, he was actually one of my roommates.
How did those conversations go?
We didn't talk about the game too much. We just talked about the atmosphere, how hot it was going to be. But me and him go back a good ways just because we both got recruited by State. But he's a good dude. We didn't really talk too much about the game other than just a couple things.
Does it kind of? And you're reaching a certain, obviously celebrity status in Greenville, and your stock could get much bigger after this year potentially too. But does it hit you going, wow, I'm in a group chat with the Mannings? Wow.
Yeah. Do you get starstruck anymore?
So the one guy that so I've met famous people before, and once you're around them, it's kind of just okay, they're normal people. But the one guy that was not like that was Peyton. Peyton was it was still just like Peyton because he's so intense. Eli's laid back, let's go get drinks, let's go to dinner, and blah blah blah. And Peyton's locked in on football, and he's retired, so he was a little bit different, but pretty much.
So Peyton was more like the fraternity guy you could hang out with, and Eli was more laid back fraternity guy. Peyton was more like the
get stuff done.
Yeah, like the chapter advisor.
I was going to ask you about Peyton because he's a perfectionist, and when it comes to instruction, how much was it in detail when it came to film or on field instruction? Because I've seen documentaries about Peyton, and there was one where he went and visited. Butch Jones was at Tennessee, and he goes to Tennessee, and it was supposed to be a 30-minute session where he talks to the coaches, and he said he was in there watching film with those guys for 4 hours.
Yeah, no, so Archie was kind of the guy that controlled the time and all that, but Peyton would just go over the whole time. Anytime that Peyton would have the room, he would go over the whole time, and he's so in depth about weird things too. One of the things that he kept talking about was QB center exchange, which is just the beginning of practice when you just get snaps with the center. And he was sitting there and he was everything matters. He was just talking to the college coach. He was everything matters. I used to make sure that they filmed this. I used to watch it 30 minutes after practice with my center, and Eli was sitting next to him just shaking his head. And he was if you care about it, you'll do it too. And Eli was like, dude, that's not true. You're just weird, man. And everyone cracked up. So he's just so in depth about everything. But that's what made him great.
And we saw that on the Manning cast too, because Peyton was sitting there kind of going through every single play, just everything about that play, and Eli's just yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
so
literally.
we saw that in the Manning cast on Monday Night Football this year. So
yeah, that's literally exactly how they are. It's Eli just sits there and laughs at him when he gets so in depth and so intense. He almost gets angry at himself, just sitting there talking about football. He was another story. He was sitting there saying that against the 04 Ravens defense and just talking about watching film and stuff. And he said how much in depth he was. He said that he knew what blitz they were going to come based off of the defensive tackles, what foot was up. And I'm who would even think about that? Yeah. I would never think about watching film on the defensive tackle, what foot is up, and
you can almost overanalyze stuff too, can't you?
And I definitely can. I know most people can, but I guess he's just one of those that can soak up everything. And
you talking last year? Do you just want to sometimes just go out and sometimes just play too, and not overthink?
No,
things?
I'm a big believer, and he said one of our I'm a big believer in that, and you can't overdo it. You got to just go out there and trust your instinct sometimes too. I watch film more than anyone, but at the same time, you got to go out there and once you get a good feel for it, you don't need much more. And he kind of got in depth about towards the end of his career, he stopped watching film once it got to Fridays because he did think he was overanalyzing stuff in his younger part.
Talking to Holton Ahlers, he's the ECU starting quarterback. He has 1 year left as an East Carolina Pirate before he is out of eligibility. As they say, you've maximized it as much as you can. It feels like you've been here forever. We love it. Also, season starts September 3rd, Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, high noon against NC State. Our coverage will start 8 a.m. with the Bud Light pregame tailgate, and the party will start Thursday night September 1st.
49 days away, Troy.
7 p.m. As the tickets are already going fast, by the way. They are available. They were released today. You can click the link on our website, pr927fm.com, to purchase tickets. They are only $10. All of your $10, we're going to donate that to local charities once we have a final on that. But ticket sales are going good. This event will sell out, by the way. We are limited capacity this year. We're at the State Theater. It is not unlimited tickets. We do have only a certain amount of folks we can have. It will be a great amount, and it'll be a good group of folks, but we do not have unlimited tickets. We do not have unlimited space. So I would recommend getting your tickets early before it does sell out, and we appreciate everybody that's already done so far. All right, Holton, we talked about the Manning camp, what you're doing with Tom Brady as one of his mental coaches. What's going on at Mobile, Alabama? Because you've been spending a lot of time down there, and I haven't even really gotten into talk with you off the air about what's been going on down there. I know you've had a couple trips, or had a trip and got another trip planned.
Yeah, so that's who I'm going to train for the draft. Is QB country David Morris. He trains about 16 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and then a bunch of college quarterbacks too. He's one of the top quarterback trainers in the country. I got in touch with him. He was the starter at Ole Miss before Eli came, and then Eli took his position. He became the backup. They became best friends, and then when Eli went on, he began training Eli, and that's kind of how he got in quarterback coaching. Now he does pro days and stuff. So just getting down there as much as I can with him. He's great to work with and just a ton to learn. He was at the Manning Passing Academy too. He's one of the few quarterback coaches at the Mannings allowed to go and kind of help out. So
that's awesome.
We just kind of hit on this, but so you got your Brady's guy. You were down there with the Mannings. You got your own coach and Donnie Kirkpatrick. This guy. So how do you pick and choose what you take in and use for yourself? Because that's a lot of stuff coming at you. A lot of different. Voices.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. For me, the Manning Passing Academy was a lot of how to watch film and small details like that. It wasn't much of form or anything like that, or certain drills. I mean, I got some drills from it, but it was just more about picking their minds about how to watch film. That's what I wanted to go into it. Obviously, I learned a ton from the Mannings and just a ton from the other guys, but my goal was, okay, how can I get a little bit better watching film?
So everybody's doing something different, kind of.
And then with Brady's guy, Tom House, he's more of just a mental coach and a biomechanics coach. Kind of just, that's more for arm health. And he's more of just like one big thing physically that I work on with him is stretching and prehab more than rehab. Get my shoulder ready and so it stays good throughout the season, doesn't get sore, doesn't get tired.
What do you do to stretch? Is it with the bands?
Yeah, there's a lot of band work. There's a lot of just body work, just stuff like that. Just everyday stretches that you can do that honestly I've never done before. And when I started it was these muscles feel weird. I've never used them before.
We talk about that with CJ Mayhew when he comes in as a pitcher. We don't talk about it with quarterbacks a lot. Yeah, when Aaron Rodgers is throwing it 45 times and you're out there chunking it, we don't really think about your arm.
Yeah,
so that is a real thing.
No, it is for sure. And Brady, anytime Brady touches anything, every other quarterback's going to eventually do it. And Brady getting involved with him. And then the Mannings getting involved with him. It kind of he escalated really quickly and kind of got into the football game. He's a huge baseball guy. He played baseball, I think, for the Dodgers, and so he was a huge baseball guy. Kind of Brady got into him. He got into football, but Brady swears that's why he's played so long. So I'm gonna, like I said, any quarterback that can listen to Brady, I'm gonna do so.
Yeah. Holton Ahlers joining us inside the Pirate Radio studios. Holton, we previewed the ECU offensive line. Would have been great to have you for that segment.
Heck yeah.
So we could have got an inside source. Hearing a lot.
Could have graded the preview.
Yeah, well, grade us.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I need to go back and watch the film on it before I talk about it. But sounds like from the inside and outside that, and Stephen Igo said it himself, this is the best offensive line Mike Houston's had since he's been here. Would you agree with that statement? And if so, what makes it that way?
100%. We're as talented as we've ever been, and we're also as deep as we've ever been. I mean, we're going to have guys that, I don't know who the starters are yet, but we're going to have guys that aren't starting that would start on every other year that I've been here.
Right.
And that'll be multiple guys. So, I mean, we'll have guys that have started big-time games for us that might not start this year and will still play. We're going to rotate guys in, and that's what's honestly going to be special about this year is we got 7 or 8 guys that are real dudes that can compete in this league that'll help us out and stay fresh throughout the game.
And you got your center back from last year, which is always important, right? Avery Jones.
First time having it, yeah. So first time having a returning center.
And basically what it sounds like is for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, we have some depth at offensive line. And the same thing in the defensive line. I've talked to the guys. They say they're rotating guys in and out on the D line all the time because they have the guys that have the talent to be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's not like there's not a huge talent jump when we do sub out, and that's what you can sub out as much as you want, but there's going to be a talent for most schools. There's going to be a talent jump, and for us this year, God willing, with no injuries, we have a pretty good group.
How long we got Holton for?
Let's take a break. Can you hang out for another segment?
Okay, let's do that.
Another segment.
Take a break. Shirley Rhodes will come back more with Holton Ahlers. We'll also make you a winner on the other side. More to go. Pirate Radio Live after this.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
America's favorite light beer, Bud Light, is also the official beer of the ECU Pirates. When planning your fun times at the pool, river, beach, or backyard grilling, be sure to pick up some Bud Light at your favorite retailer. Bud Light carefully brews their beer to be perfect for anywhere there is fun. Because when there's fun, Bud Light is there. Have fun this summer, Pirate Nation, and always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
The Dickinson Avenue Public House is a lively and diverse restaurant in Greenville that utilizes fresh and local ingredients. With influences of Creole, Asian, and upscale Southern cuisine, the Dickinson Avenue Public House offers a seasonally rotating menu and a full-service bar with rotating craft brews on tap. Come to the intersection of 8th and Dickinson and enjoy $1 off drafts on Tuesday, half-price flights on Wednesday, half-price wine bottles on Thursday, and $1 oysters Tuesday through Friday from 5:30 to 7. For more details, check out their website at daphousенc.com.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owners insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar with daily specials. And here's the lineup. Mondays feature $7 margaritas and half-price appetizers. Tuesday is stuffed seafood night. Wednesday is date night. Thursday is roasted smoked lamb chop night. Fridays is prime rib night. And Saturday is Italian night and is also Fred and Wilma night with our 36-ounce bone-in tomahawk steak just like the Flintstones. And on Sunday, it's our legendary brunch from 10 to 2. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Volleyball players need to be able to jump higher, dig lower, and move faster. Our athletic movement program at Kinetic this summer is just for volleyball players at ages 13 to 17. It's a 6-week program starting June 13th where you will learn the secrets on how to be more explosive, how to get the ball faster, and how to serve with power. Team up with our sports performance coaches and other players to sharpen your athletic ability and take your game to the next level. Sign up today at kptonline.com.
Pirate Radio!
Pirate Radio.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medi-Spa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations are available by calling 752-1406 or visiting beautybarmedispa.com. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you on a Thursday edition of Pirate Radio Live.
The show within the show is always great, Clip.
Shirley, CJ, Chandman, Clip Rock, Troy D, and Holton Ahlers here on a Thursday. Holton, I want to ask you about Mason Garcia. So he came here and he was going to bide his time and wait and eventually become the starting quarterback at East Carolina. That time was a little longer than he was anticipating. And if you were in his shoes, you'd probably be antsy to get out there and play. But I don't know, what does that say about him that he is indeed sticking it out? He's also improving, and hopefully when it is his time, he'll be ready to go. But how about his growth and just that he's still here and wanting to play?
Yeah, he's grown a lot. We've had a lot of conversations about it, and he, as a backup, it's hard sometimes because you're not the starter for one, especially as a young guy coming in as talented as he was. But I mean, he's done everything the right way. He's never tried to push in my shoes at all. He's never pouted about anything. He's done it the right way. So. I'm always been there for him, always will be there for him, and hopefully when my time's done here, he steps in and does just as good, if not better.
And I've heard, and this he's not the only person I've heard this about, but he's got all the talent. It's about knowing the plays, getting in the film room, doing all that extra stuff. Has he come a long ways in doing those types of things?
Yeah, he has. I mean, honestly, in college, it's so much about just seeing it. Once you finish that first rep at it, the live rep at it, and you get your first start. I know he had one in 2020, but I mean, there's no one in the stands of that game. That's a hard. I mean, you don't want to say it's not a full start, but I mean, until he gets that full thing, which I mean, if everything goes good this year, and then next year the big house will be a heck of a first start for him. But I mean, that's one of those things. Is once you get a couple games under your belt, and once you stack them and get in a rhythm, and figure out, okay, this is what college football is about. That's when he's really going to start improving, and just figuring out, kind of getting a routine for how to watch film in the week. I mean, I've been doing this. This is going to be my 5th year starting now, so I kind of know my routine throughout the week, what film I need to watch one day, what I need to do the next day, and until you're in that position fully. I mean, I've been the backup before, and I thought that I was prepared, but until you're in that position, I mean, it's hard to even know.
We know Donnie Kirkpatrick does a lot of coaching with him, but how much are you hands-on with him, like pulling him to the side and kind of teaching him some stuff?
I mean, anytime I can in practice, I mean, anytime I see something, and really not just him, but all the quarterbacks. I didn't really have that when I first got here, and that was one of the goals that I had, was when I became an upperclassman and had the experience, I could kind of help them out. So, I mean, I hope I've helped them out a lot. I try to, and I guess kind of you'll see down the road.
At this point, you're certainly a staple in that leadership position, but this team has developed so much depth now and upperclassmen that there's got to be a ton of guys in that locker room that can maybe control that locker room if the coaches aren't around. Now, I'm sure you got a lot of guys shoulder to shoulder with you that can do that, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the best teams are player-led teams, and we're to the point now where, I mean, we can go out there in the summer and we don't need coaches around for us to do a 7-on-7 and have a good discipline rep or stuff like that. I mean, Big John we'll be in there lifting, and Big John will just tell us to go to condition. on our own and tell us the condition and, tell us to time it and stuff like that. When he first got here, there was no way he would have done that and could have done that. But he trusts us now. I mean, like I said, the best teams are player-led teams, and we're to the point now where, one of my goals this summer is really to kind of take a step back and let other guys lead, because at the end of the day, I'm going to lead. I enjoy doing it, but at the same time, if some of the guys I can get to step up, on defense, and some of the receiver guys that maybe are more lead by example guys, and tell them, hey, speak up a little bit and let people hear your voice. I'm just trying to let other guys do it and make the team better.
Who are those other speakers on the team right now?
Xavier Smith's a big one. Miles Berry's a big one on defense. Malik Fleming on offense. Keaton Mitchell, Rajah Harris. I mean, we got, kind of like you said, we got so many. I mean, we got 10 plus 3, 4, 5 year starters now, to where, like you said, I mean, there's so many voices that can be heard. That, I mean, it's not too many, because you can never have too many experienced guys that are respected, but at the same time, we all know to respect each other, and when someone speaks, listen.
Yeah, I was talking with someone about you earlier today, Holton. I said, you're in a unique position here, because you kind of span multiple generations now of, especially coach. Your recruiting started under Ruffin McNeil.
Yeah.
When you first kind of verbally said, "Yeah, I want to come to ECU," you signed officially with Scotty Montgomery.
Yep.
You're playing for Mike Houston. So, I mean, you could look at it as your career at East Carolina has spanned over 3 college football coaches. You've been here just about as long as anybody now.
2 ADs, 4 basketball coaches.
Yeah,
I'm just doing some other math.
I mean, it is amazing, though, if you think about your tenure has been here longer than a lot of other folks affiliated with the university, and yet the script is still being written, and you've been here during some of the darkest times at East Carolina, and now this year, the 1 year left, this final season could be perhaps some of the greatest times in front of you and in front of this football program. I mean, really, it is y'all's decision as far as what happens. And right now, you haven't lost a game. And, you can run the scenarios, best case scenario, you win every game, worst case, you lose every game, or anything in between. But what does that make you feel to know that, man, this is going to be, you'll end up probably being remembered at East Carolina for what happens this season, is my guess, that this is kind of your moment now to take ECU, especially this program, and in many ways, this university, maybe to the next level.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, like you said, back when I was 14 years old, rough all for me, and, I'm sitting here 22 years old. I mean, that's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
But, when I committed here, I knew it was going to be a rough process. I knew that it was going to take a lot, and I knew that I was going to take a lot of heat for it. I could have went to schools where it was probably easier, less stress for me, but, I wanted to be the one to help turn this thing around. I wanted to be the face of this thing, and, last year when I had to make a decision whether to come back or not, I knew that this year was going to be the best team that we've had, the best team that I would have if I came back, and, I couldn't pass that up. I mean, being the quarterback here, I've said it many times, is, one of the greatest blessings I've ever had, and I'll cherish it forever. So, just one more year at it with the best team and most talent we've had, especially. I couldn't pass it up.
And we're fortunate here. We get to know you as a person, separate from just a football player. And I know in the past, it always hasn't been fun. It hasn't always been roses.
Yeah.
But right now, I would say it seems like you're having the most fun you've ever had at quarterback at East Carolina. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. And, one of those reasons, kind of like we just talked about, is, when we were first changing the program, the first couple years here, I was, me and a couple other guys that are still here now, leaders with me, kind of had to be the vocal guy all the time and pushing and, almost pulling guys along with us. And now, kind of like I said, my goal this summer is to take a step back rather than push or pull or anything like that. Like, I don't got to, the guys that are here now are the guys that want to be here and the guys that stuck through the hard times. And there's almost an appreciation in the locker room of just knowing, we all got through this, and now we get to see the reward of it.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, hey, you survived the hurricane.
Yeah, literally.
Hurricane's over. We're rebuilding, and now let's make this house fantastic.
Yeah, and that's how we see it, and just the appreciation to know that we helped build this thing back up with Coach Houston and the coaches and Big John and all those guys. And these 5th-year guys, we've been through a lot, and those 6th-year guys, same thing. We've been through probably some of the worst times in ECU football history, or at least came in during them. To get to a bowl game last year, and then our goals this year, if we achieve them, would be pretty special.
Let's talk about something you have zero control over, but I'd love to get your opinion on.
Okay.
And that's all this conference realignment stuff.
Yeah.
It is kind of wild, and the things that have happened just within the last month are kind of shocking. What's your perspective on all this?
I think I mean, for one, money's going to rule over everything, no matter if people say it will or it doesn't. I mean, it does, especially in college sports, and shows how much of a business it is. So that was one of the biggest shocks I had when I first got into college. It was like you go from high school where you grow up the people, you know the coaches your whole life, to college, you know them and their family, and Coach Mo walks in one day, says he's fired, and you don't see him again. He's not your coach anymore. So you just see how much of a business it is. But the thing that is really going to hurt, the one thing about NIL is like these big schools like Texas A&M and all that, they have the ability to, what I've heard from, some people is they're eventually going to pretty much have 115 guys on scholarship because the walk-ons will just get NIL scholarships instead. So if it gets to that point, that's a big time thing. But I don't think the thing about ECU is, we're not in the SEC. We're not sitting here having to compete with Alabama. We're not competing with Texas A&M. So I think we're in a great spot. We got good NIL deals here with, you can recruit guys, and in our conference, the Houston quarterback was at the Manning Passing Academy, and they have no NIL deals. Mm-hmm. And I know people don't like to hear that that's a thing, but that is a thing in today's college sports. That's a big deal. And just the fan base that we have, and I think we're in a good position to kind of take over the top G5, because you think about it, Cincinnati's leaving next year, UCF's leaving, Houston's leaving, BYU's leaving. That's some of the top group of 5 teams in the country, and ECU has in the past been those schools. So we can kind of take that back over, and I think we're in a good spot. I wouldn't be too worried if I was an ECU fan.
Holton Ahlers joining us. Holton, when you made your decision to come back, I believe you said that the decision was between going to play professional football or staying here. Yep. There was no other option in there. And I'm just curious whether it's legal or not, but with all the NIL, with the transfer portal, how much were you contacted or, talked to by other schools, other players from other schools, all that going on?
I was contacted. We'll keep it. I was contacted. Yeah. I'm here now because I want to be here. I wasn't going to go to another school, but I was contacted.
Yeah, and that stuff I'm sure goes on. Luckily, good family, good head on your shoulders. But a lot of pressure on, I guess, young men, not necessarily kids, but kids to young men these days, with everybody trying to drag them in a different direction.
And you don't have to name names, but when you are contacted, is it directly by coaches, or is it by people that represent the coaches or the universities? Are they trying to do it through back channels, or are they just straight up, it's a head coach calling you?
Depends. A little bit of both. It depends what school, who it is, previous relationships, just stuff like that. But, a little bit of both.
Holton Ahlers joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you for answering.
I imagine you got a lot of calls during that window, especially where there's that uncertainty.
Yeah, but
well, I'm glad you put that to rest quickly, and we're glad to have you here, obviously.
For sure.
How about the newcomers, Holton? How much have you been able to, get out on the field, work with them as far as Winstead and the receivers, also the new offensive linemen? How much have you been able to play with those?
A lot.
Guys?
Yeah, a lot. We're doing Scaly, which is 7-on-7, 2 days a week, and then we're throwing a third day too. So, they're super talented. Just getting timing down with those guys, but we're getting a lot of reps with them right now.
July 14th, you've got your own camp coming up July 23rd, which is sold out at this point, the Holton Ahlers football camp. You've got other stuff going on. When is do you know the official first practice day for you guys?
I know we report August 2nd, so I'm guessing August 3rd, maybe.
Yeah. So, man, we are getting there.
Yeah.
Clip, it'll be here before you know it.
Can't wait.
That it will. I remember you asked this to Coach Houston, and his favorite part of the season as a coach.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
You said you. I didn't know if you were talking about me or Holton. That's why.
No, it was you on the show.
Okay, got you.
I guess outside of playing, Holton, what's your favorite part of the football calendar, being a college football player?
After going to the bowl game last year, the bowl game, that was pretty sweet. That week was super
That
cool.
build up?
Yeah. And just being there in the city and just the vibes around that was something obviously none of us have ever experienced. So that was super cool. And
I still think we would have stomped those guys. I'm telling you, I think we were geared up, queued up, ready to roll.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they felt the same.
Yeah, we were ready to roll. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to call them out, but we were ready to roll.
And you got a lot of carrot to the end of the stick for yourself personally, but also that feeling that you haven't been in a bowl game, playing in an actual game. So I know you and your teammates, I don't know, is that discussed? It's at least in the back of the mind, I would imagine.
No, it is for sure. We got a lot bigger goals this year, but that's the first one to kind of cross off the list in the late half of the season.
All right, Holton Ahlers joining us.
You enjoying any time off?
I am actually
getting out there a little bit. A few little breaks.
Yeah, I've literally been doing something every weekend this summer. I think this is the first weekend all summer that I haven't been doing something involving football. So.
Yeah, I know you've been busy.
Yeah,
need to rest a little bit too every once in a while. I don't want to overschedule you. Like my kids, I don't want you overscheduled.
There you go.
We gotta have some downtime. We gotta have some relaxation time.
A mental break. Yeah, every now and then.
Man, this has been a big summer for you. This is a lot of in case you missed it earlier, all the stuff we talked about with the Mannings and the Tom Brady connection and the stuff. I mean, this has not been the average summer off. This has been a real growth summer for you, and I think it's going to pay big dividends coming this fall.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm definitely seeing and feeling a lot of improvement. So just hope to go out there and put it on the field.
All right, well, good luck with the Holton Ahlers first ever football camp coming up
July 23rd.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you waited too long for it is sold out.
Yeah, sold out.
So very popular camp, as you could imagine, at D.H. Conley. I'll look forward to hearing reports about that. And we've got some interesting news coming down the pike. We'll share maybe next month with folks about how they can participate. Well, I don't know. I don't want to spill the beans. I'll let you, if you want to say anything about it, or if you don't want to say
keep it quiet for now.
Right. Let's say we've got some a good way that you could. We just got some interesting stuff to share.
I don't know how you
I don't want to promote it without promoting it.
Just don't. Yeah.
But it'll be something that people could get involved in if they want to.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just leave it at that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Holt got another Conley Viking on the way. We talked to Bryce Weaver on the show a couple weeks ago. Seems like a good dude. He's looking forward to seeing him.
So his brother was my teammate, and I grew up with. And then their older brother grew up with my brother, so I've known him since he was tiny.
Awesome. Well, he's not tiny anymore. That's a good thing.
He's huge. He's helping out in the camp too. So
awesome.
And a lot like you, he's very mature. I remember we were talking to you when you were a senior at D.H. Conley. It's like you were a grown man. It was the same way with Bryce Weaver.
Heck yes, the Conley connection, man.
All right, enjoy the Holt.
Heck
Have a good rest of your summer, man. And we'll talk to you a lot coming up this